Isn't it? Hi and welcome to another episode of Lids Off. I am your host, Snow. I am joined today with a guest, the first ever guest on Lids Off. Please introduce yourself, Queen.
Hello, I am Lou, she, her. I am from, I can't remember what I said I was going to say. I'm really old, so let's not ask exactly how old I am. I'm part of Solent Thrashers women's team, I guess still the senior team, and GB at the moment. So a lot of football, based down in the South Coast, obviously. So
You know, I've actually got a confession to make. I
yeah.
only learned like 10 minutes ago where your team were. I am significantly geographically challenged, so I thought you guys were like near Warwick.
Oh, no.
No, you are like south,
right
south.
to the bottom, and we're at the bottom. We're literally like, I know. I'm probably closer to France than where you are right now.
That is mental.
Yeah, this is why, like, one of my things with Bath about, they're like, oh, it's in like the south of the north, and I'm like, that's like 6-hour drive away, but okay, cool. But yeah, it's far. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. But we'll get into that. So, why don't we start with how did you get into football?
So long story, but can I interrupt and say something first?
Yeah, go for it.
You're like, what are you going to say? I just want to say thank you for what you shared on the last episode. I think it's really important, and you're really brave for telling your story, and being like really kind of raw about how it affects you. And I think with all the madness that's going on at the moment, it really helps to have someone. I think there's a lot of people who think, oh, this doesn't affect me because they don't know or anyone who's affected by it, and they don't understand. So like having and it's totally not your responsibility to have to do that, but having you be able to tell your story, make it more human to people so people understand, I really appreciate it. And I was about to say on behalf of everyone, but like I don't know who gave me that role, but I'm really proud of you, and I think it's a really amazing thing to have done, and yay.
You're gonna make me cry, but thank you so much.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do.
No, but thank you so much. Like,
I think it's really important, and yeah, well done.
Oh, thank you so much. I genuinely didn't know how to, like, whether to say it or not, and then when it came out, I had like massive like anxiety that I'd like shared too much, or people are going to be like, what the fuck are they talking about? And like it means a lot, so thank you. Thank you so much.
And like, yeah, don't please don't think that what BAFA are doing is any way representative of particularly like the women's branch of the game. I know the seniors can be a bit more like, I can't speak for them, but one thing I really love about part of football is how inclusive it's always been, and it always is. And please don't think that that is representative of everyone else at all.
You're an angel. Thank you so much.
Love you.
So, how did you get into football?
Oh, yeah.
How long have you been playing?
I have been playing since I played my first flag game in 2011.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so like when the dinosaurs were still roaming. Oh no, was it 2012? It might have been 2012. Whatever, a long time ago. So I'll go right back to the start of everything. So I grew up, in my house, we watched the NFL. Like, you know how most houses watch, like football or rugby or like normal sports? We grew up watching the NFL because my dad's really into it. And I was saying to people at work today, I don't think I realised that was weird until I got to like high school. And everyone was like, what do you mean? And I was like, what do you mean you don't watch the NFL? Like, and when they first brought out, when like you could first start recording things on TV?
Yeah.
Like our entire thing was full with like all of the games. So my dad's really into football, and I mean, if you pushed him, he's a Raiders fan, but like he just loves football. So he will watch any game, every game. He likes good defenses, if you ask him, which is a weird. But I think he started watching when it was on Channel 4 in the 80s.
Wow.
So he played from when he was 18. So my entire life he was playing football. And although we didn't go to watch because my mum was terrified of like us seeing him get hurt, which he got hurt all the time.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I grew up around it, and it was just like a normal thing to me. When I was maybe 13, 14, he started helping coach the youth team, and I was so desperate to go along. And he was like, "I'm not letting you be the only girl on the team." And I was like, "Oh, fine." Got over myself. While I was at uni, so I was going into my third year, I think, and I was avoiding doing revision of some description, and I saw on our uni like intranet thing, like internal
Oh God,
page.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, they had something about this American football game that had happened with women, and I was like, what? And spent all summer convincing my housemate that she was going to come join with me. Went along in September, and that was like the first. So that year was the first like formalized year. So the year before they'd done like a sort of showcase thing with 3 uni teams. So it was Portsmouth, which where I went to uni, Southampton, yes, Portsmouth, Southampton, and Hertfordshire.
Okay.
And then the year we joined, there were a few more teams, and it was like a first formal year. So we were like right there at the start when it had, what was it called? Sapphire and Opal. Opal was the flag, 5-a-side flag, and Sapphire was the 5-a-side contact. Because obviously it had to be dumb names like that, didn't it? It couldn't just be like the Women's League. Like,
has to be pretty and
has to be
princessy.
pretty and cute. So yeah, I played 2 years at uni. Then we moved, me and my other half moved away. Where we moved to, there was no women's teams. As much as I tried to find, I think I had about 18 months where I wasn't doing anything. And then I got in contact with people at Oxford who were setting up the women's team there. Went along, and I thought I'd been like really sneaky because obviously I didn't know any of them. And it was mostly like a local rugby team plus people's girlfriends of the other team and like sisters and all of that. But I rocked up in my football boots, and one of the coaches said to me a few weeks later, he was like, "I knew you were going to know a bit more than you were letting on because you got proper boots on." So I did 2 seasons there, 1 season there, before we moved back to Southampton, and yeah, joined what had been, so when we were at uni with the Portsmouth Destroyers women's team, then we became the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts. So when I came back, they were Dreadnoughts, and then we've evolved into the Solent Thrashers. So I've been there for what feels like ever. And I started training and playing with the men's team, senior team, in 2018. And I've done some cool stuff with them. Like we won Div 1 in 2019. We went and played in Finland last year, which was really cool.
That's incredible.
Not Finland, Iceland. Confusing countries. And then, yeah, I was part of the GB training squad for like 2 cycles before this year I finally got selected and I got to play, which was really cool.
That's incredible. So have you always played offense? Because you play O-line, is that
O-line,
right?
yeah. So back in the day, we all played all positions.
Okay.
The only position I've never played in a game is quarterback. And like my dad's been trying to teach me to throw a football my entire life, and I just can't. Like, I'll accept
It is
that.
witchcraft. I'm not gonna
It's
lie.
just like I just can't do it. Like I'd love to, but I can't. But yes, I played back when I was young and skinny. I used to play receiver. But since Oxford onwards, I've been playing mostly O-line, but a bit like I get to play D-line when they let me, which I love.
That's a little treat.
Oh no, like, but my problem is I have too much fun and I'm like flailing around, like giggling, and everyone's like, "Can you like do something helpful?" And I'm like, "But I'm having so much fun." But yeah, I don't think I'd trade being a lineman now. I love it.
It's a world apart, isn't it? We all have like it's the hardest, but the funnest, I think.
So much fun, and also yeah, really, no one gives you credit for. I'm like, they're like, you just like smash into each other. I'm like, it's a lot more technical and like thought. You have to think loads to then headbutt someone.
Yeah, right. Like holy fuck. So, what made you kind of set your sights on GB? Was it like you were naturally kind of flagged, or?
Oh no, not at all. So like obviously I played forever, and back in those early days, it was always people who were being. I mean, this is going to sound really salty, but like people who were being selected were people who played at the teams where the coaches coached, like
Yes.
as in the GB coaches coached the normal teams,
Yeah.
and or like the top level teams, and we just weren't. We were in the lower divisions, the whole time, so no one saw you, like, you know, and I think it helps that obviously my other half's quite dedicated to his football. So I think I got taught a lot of things, whether I liked it or not, really. Um, so I think was it when we did the Diamond series, that was what really, I don't know if you're aware of the Diamond series because I forget that's absolutely a billion years ago as well.
It's been mentioned by like Meg and Alex from the Bears. So
Yeah.
like Meg Delaney, I think she
Yeah.
was part of it,
She
wasn't
was
she?
probably, yeah, probably. Yeah, so it was like a regional 11-a-side thing. So one year we had just North and South, and then was it the next year or was it the first year we had three? And then there was a Midlands team at some point. Have you ever seen pictures of the digital camo jerseys that we had?
No.
Oh my
This
God.
sounds
I
incredible.
might wait there, let me show you. Don't mind me just like running off mid-interview. Look at this.
Oh my God, you've got it.
Look at it. We paid for these jerseys.
That is incredible.
I mean, the thing is, it's kind of iconic now. And look, it's even got a little flame emoji. Can you see it?
That's cool.
Yeah, so I can't remember what I was saying with that, but that you can't mention that and not bring up that. So, oh yeah, so we were doing 11-a-side stuff, and I found it, especially on the line, it makes a big difference when you're playing 11-a-side v 5-a-side. I think we were doing at the time,
definitely.
and I was like, this is fun and I like it. And I got quite a lot of compliments. This sounds so big-headed. I got quite a lot of compliments for my techniques, like there. So I thought, well, okay, maybe if you're putting me in the same category as the people who are doing that, maybe I can do that. And because I was spending a lot of time at the senior team stuff, just hanging out, I was like, well, why not? I remember asking the chairman at the time, like, do you mind if I just step in with the drills and just kind of like work some technique and stuff, like, you know, make myself a bit better? And I did that for a little bit, and then he was like, well, you're part of the team now, and just sort of shoved me in and was like, you're a team member then. So like, yeah, and at the end of the last Diamond Series game, I played awfully, like really bad. And I remember being a bit upset about it because they had people who were scouting for GB there, and I remember thinking, I've blown it now.
What made you feel like you played poorly?
Oh, because I did. They put someone really quick against me, and I just couldn't handle it.
Fair.
And
Okay.
and you know when there's times in football where you know that you don't know what to do or how to deal with something or someone, like you're beat and you don't know how to fix it. Like
Yeah.
it was one of those. So I remember them thinking, well, I've messed it up, but actually I was having loads of fun doing 11-a-side, so kept on at that. And post all of the pandemic not happening anything, they asked for coaches to, like, team coaches to suggest people to try out for GB, and I know our coaches put me forward, and I had loads of fun there, and it was, yeah, it kind of went from there. Like, it's quite, being on the fringes of it for a long time was not necessarily been the most enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like, for me, I feel like I've achieved something by sticking it through and getting to it now.
I mean,
It's been a long journey.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, we met at my first and only ever open training thing, and I know I really respected how you opened up to me that, you know, you've been on the
Mm.
practice team, but you said in your words you've never really made it to the team, and then this year you did.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even profess to know you that deeply, but I was so proud of you. Like, how did that like feel, like finally after all these years of like slogging at it?
I didn't believe it, really, to the point I chucked my phone at Adam and was like, can you just double check that I'm like not reading it properly? And it was really overwhelming. You think, like, I'm not young and I've played for such a long time that there were so many points where I thought, oh, that's not for me. And I'd be, although I'm sure they don't want me to talk about all of this, just a reminder that all these opinions are mine and whatever. It was really mentally tough, and I feel like there will be other people who agree with me, being on the not quite in but still in but not in part of it, and there isn't support for, like, because you're basically being like told directly to your face you're not good enough, which is like,
that's brutal.
You know what I mean? And like, they're not like fuck off, but it is like, you're not good enough this time. And for someone that I like have my own mental health issues, like, I've took it really tough, and especially when I'd worked really, really, really hard, and you can't help but compare yourself to the people that have been selected when you haven't, when you've been there side by side, and it's a really weird sort of not relationship, but like, one moment you're like, oh, team, yeah, let's go us, and the next minute you're like, but this is my job and I don't want to keep it and I don't want you to have it. To then being like, oh, I'm really happy for you but I'm really sad for me. Or and it really, like, I'm not gonna lie, it really affected me, and I had to go away after the last cycle, and I almost was ready to be like, no, I'm completely done with football. Like,
really?
And as much as you know about me, football is all day, every day. Like, that's all I do all the time when I'm not at work, basically. And I was like really close. I had to have some time away from it just because I was like, I can't. Like, it just upsets me. And I went away and I thought, I think I've always done really well when I've had a fuck you attitude, which I think is how I get by in life, which might not be the most, like, positive way to do things. But I went away and I was like, I just need to enjoy football and have fun. And the girls at Thrashers are amazing. And they've always held my hand when stuff's been rubbish. They always make it fun. Like, we're always joking about some dumb thing or other. So, like, being like, well, I'm just playing football for fun. And that made a real big difference. And I think I wasn't going to go back to GB for this time round. And I said to myself, go until it's not fun.
Okay.
So I was like, because for me as well, it's 8 hours of driving for, like, you get up at 5, you drive for 4 hours, you get there, you play against the hardest people you play against forever, for 2 or 3 hours on the field. You then eat lunch while you're doing film review, to then go back on the field for another 2 or 3 hours of being beaten up, to then drive 4 hours home. And it costs, and all stuff. So it's like real, like, takes up time, money, effort, like, body. And I said to myself, like, go, and if it's fun, it's fun, and you keep going. And when it's not fun anymore, step away. No one's like, who is anyone to judge you for that? And I think we kept it a lot more positive this journey round. It felt a bit more positive. It felt more, enjoyable. I got pushed back from playing guard to playing centre, which isn't my favourite thing to do, which I'm sure people won't enjoy me saying. But and then I kind of found my spot there. So yeah, it took a lot of, I don't know, like, mental work, which sounds really lame. But let me be honest about it, because I know there's a lot of people who have been on those fringe bits who have felt this way, and then because no one talks about it, because you're meant to be all happy for everyone else, like, you feel on your own, and you feel like yeah, it's tough. It's tough to be like, I genuinely am really happy for you, but also I'm very jealous and upset for me.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely. Because you meet such nice people.
Mm,
I mean, I only ever went once, and the people that I met, like you and
mm,
from Leeds, like genuine people that are like, we're
yeah.
not the consistent squad, but we're just happy to be there.
Mm,
But we do want to kind of get there. And then
yeah.
when you don't get that email saying
Mm,
you've not made it this time, it's kind of like, so I completely get it. And for you
yeah.
to just repeat that cycle again and again is
Mm.
just so resilient. Like,
It's draining. um,
but how do you like drag yourself back into the gym and go, we rebuild from that? Like, what is it?
that's where I had to go away and have fun with it. And what the good thing for me with the gym, in terms of, I go to gym quite a lot. I love it. I mean, you can't tell when you look at me, but it's for me, it's good for my mental health and like stress release and whatever. Like, because no one's body is made to play football all day every day.
Oh, absolutely not.
And so luckily it's a good thing to keep consistent, and I think it's helpful for like setting random little goals that are separate to anything else. So I'm lucky that I sort of kept with that, and I kind of got, because of my other half plays. He's the chairman of the men's team. He also lives Bruce football every single day. You can't help but have it like there in your face all the time. And I love it, and I've always loved it. So there's only so much of like moping around where you think, right, I've got to sort myself out now.
Yeah.
Like, because I can't present the thing I love most. Not love most, that's so lame. Well,
It's not lame. It's okay to have passions. But would you say that having Adam like there and kind of have the same respect and regard for football, have that same level of accountability that's kind of fed into how you play football? Because he's OC as well, isn't he, for Thrashers?
Yeah, I was like, not the senior team. I was like, oh yeah, the women's team. I should remember that he's my OC. Yeah, like it's he's always excited about things, and like, when you're with someone, they will just show you stuff regardless of whether you want to see it or not.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like, so it's not like he'll be like, oh, I'm not going to talk about football anymore, because I don't think he physically can. But it's been helpful helpful and unhelpful in different ways. He also went through period of being part of the GB team, so he kind of has experienced the stress and pressure, for lack of better words, at that level, and like can relate a bit. But then at the time where I was not getting in, he was part of the team, and he basically never expected to tried out and got selected straight away. But then when I got in, he was cut from the team, so like we had a real awkward like swapping of emotions.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, but like, it's been nice to be able to have somebody who kind of understands it,
Yeah.
and have the support, and like, he's not going to let me just sit and mope forever, because that's really boring for him. So, and like, yeah, it's good. He's supportive. I'm supportive of him. Like, it all kind of works in a
I love
nice little
seeing you
bubble.
both follow each other on your GB journey as well. Like,
Mm.
seeing him on the live stream, watching you in Spain was so wholesome.
With that, I bet no one. So obviously the game went on it started late, and then with the big injury, it went on for even longer. He came back to me. It's at the hotel afterwards to kind of have a bit of a chat, and then drive, I think it's 3 hours, 4 hours back to where his hotel was, to then wake up 3 hours later to get on a plane to get to his first game of the season.
Holy
so
shit.
like, I'm very grateful for that, which is really nice.
That's really wholesome.
Yeah,
that's
incredible. I mean, I
incredible.
kind of said to him I wasn't going to be happy if he chose that over me, but but he was there and he did it, and it's nice to have a supportive person, especially when like I came off the field not that happy with my performance. So having a friendly face that sort of removed from the team was quite nice to have.
Yeah. So if we step away from GB and we go to Solent, so NWFL 2023 regional champs.
Wow. Yeah. Of our division.
Yeah. You still had an incredible season. Like, you guys were all singing or dancing last year.
It felt good. It felt good. We had a really, really excellent bunch of rookies who, I don't know how people do it these days, because I'm like, I took 4 years to figure out what football was. How does everyone just jump in and they're like, yeah, I know exactly everything about everything, and you're like, okay, let's go. But yeah, really good bunch of rookies, and I think we've always been struck in our divisions with, we always have a team pull out, so we're always playing the same teams over and over, and like to the point people were saying that we had this rivalry with Cardiff, and I was like, we love Cardiff, we just have to play them a lot because that's how the division works. We were like, it's not a rivalry, we love going to see them. So yeah, it was really good, and it, like, Leicester was a brand new team with lots of rookies, so I think they struggled a bit, but they've got so much potential there to sort of build on.
Yeah, I really hope that they come back to sevens.
Yeah,
next year for sure. Yeah. How's recruitment and retention been for you guys going up to nines? Because I feel like there's like an added pressure of numbers once you commit to.
Yeah, I think there's even, I mean, I'm not on committee anymore, although I still interfere way more than I'd like me to. But I think there's like a set minimum numbers you've got to have by set points. And I know the first one is really early, to the point I was like, I don't want to be paying my registration yet because we're not doing anything yet.
Oh my God, yeah.
But they were like, we need people to do it, so we've got the numbers. We have, I think we've picked up more this year, more good quality rookies than like necessarily huge numbers.
Okay.
So everyone we've got has been excellent. And we've picked up quite a few over the last 2 years. We picked up quite a few people who've played before. So like from uni teams or from other places. It's quite interesting. Like, obviously when I first started, no one had ever played anything, no one had ever watched football before. To now have girls coming in who've been like, oh, I've played for the last 3 years, I know what I'm doing, and you're like, oh, excellent, just go over there and do that. It's really cool to see the cycle, and I'm really jealous that I'm not 10 years younger and starting my football journey now, or 15 years younger and starting my football journey now. Like, I'm jealous of those girls who have it all, it's all there, and it's gonna be amazing.
It's so exciting though.
Yeah, I love it, but jealous.
How has it been, so with those rookies, I guess, going into your first 9 season? Because you guys have the heaviest like schedule of anyone ever. Like, credit to you, because I would take one look at yours and go, peace, I'm out. Like, flags for me, because fuck. How has that been?
So obviously we were meant to have Kent in our division before they pulled out and went back to sevens. So they were meant to be one of those Warriors games. It was really it's intense, and I kind of feel, what's the phrase, baptism of fire? Is that a phrase?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, but like, for me it's really exciting because, oh yeah, sorry, my Wi-Fi might be being weird. For me it's really exciting because a lot of the girls who play at Warriors I've known for quite a long time, and like through the GB setup you get to meet people from different teams, which is one of my favorite things about it. But like, so I know people now, and I'm like, oh well, although it's a bit terrifying, like, they're just people, like, everyone needs to chill out. And although you're like, oh cool, so the first 2 games we're playing the 2-time national champions, and then the 3rd game we're playing the people who've been in 2nd place the last few times, but it means that we are playing the best. And for me, that's very exciting. And the fact our first game, we kind of went in like hoping for the best. We've been prepared, like, although we played sevens last year, we had like nines on the brain. We've got really excellent coaching staff who've coached at like all sorts of levels and won all sorts of things before. So we were like, you know, we feel like we're ready for nines and we're just hoping that it's going to go well. And then that Warriors game, we hung with them, although the score doesn't necessarily reflect that. We were hanging with them. We scored points. We did things.
You put 20 on them, like fair fucking dude.
We stopped them doing some things.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it felt good. And I think that was like, it's very weird to say coming out losing by like 30 points that it felt like a good game, but it felt positive, and I think that's given everyone like a good amount of confidence going forward. So
no, I think that's like a winning mentality though, is that there's, you know, if you go in and go, oh, that's all shit, then but iron sharpens iron, doesn't it, at the end of the day? If you can glean positives, and you're only going to be the best by going against the best. So you know, with London Warriors and Birmingham, like, so
scary teams. They've all got really, and it's also, I really enjoy playing people when you're playing against the best people. Like, you can do something and see someone do something really excellent right in front of your face, and you're like, amazing. I kind of love seeing it there and then.
But where's that mentality come from? Because I know for me, when I'm just being steamrolled by someone, like, it's so easy to get in my head and become like really self-critical that I'm like letting the team down because I'm not. Like, where is this mentality of you being like, you know, this is awesome, this is such a, you know, I can grow from this?
I think I just I'm having fun the whole time I'm playing football. Everyone's like, why are you giggling? And I'm like, I'm having a great time. And they're like, you just got punched in the face. I'm like, yes. But like, as long as you keep it fun, like, you know, because if we all, there's something about football players that you've got to enjoy the madness of it all, or none of us would be doing it anymore. We've all taken a hit where we've gone, fuck me, I might not be able to walk ever again. Like, we've all had that, and none of us have got, I mean, some people have, but like the ones of us that are still here, like, there's something that just draws you back. And I think like I like trying to be the best that I can, and like, for me, it's not necessarily always being like, oh, I was the best player, blah 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 blah. But I'm like, I like to think, oh, I did that really well today. Although I say this like I'm really positive about everything all the time, I'm not. But like, I don't know, you've got to have fun with it.
Has that taken practice, or is that certain people in your life getting you into that habit of being like, I did this right today? Like, how have you done that?
I think it's I've had really good coaches that are also friends who recognise in me when I'm in my head about stuff.
Okay.
And I like to, again, like, I'll say this and all the girls will be like, no, think that like I'll turn around and say, that was really good, that was really cool, amazing, like, well done, and like try and, you know, have us supporting each other, and especially where I've played for a billion years, I think people look to me to know what I'm doing. So if I have to do that for myself, you know, God, this is deep.
Yeah, right. Football therapy?
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's an additional kind of, burden's not the right word, but an additional role as captain for you to be that person? Like, what do you expect from yourself as captain on game day?
This is the thing I know I struggle with, because when you catch me on a bad day, I'm absolutely a terrible teammate, and I'll stand here and say that. And even like with training the other day, and I got home at 8, and I was like, sorry, I was being a bellend, I was just hungry, like, my bad.
I respect that so much.
You just got to be honest about life sometimes, haven't you? But like, I do think as a captain, you've got to be the positive one, because if you're trying to be a leader, like, you can't just go around being like negative to everyone about everything all the time. And like, that's what I find. The finals last year, I was really disappointed in myself. So I got wound up by someone from BAFA about ridiculous things. But you know, when it disrupts what you're doing, and like,
yeah,
we were disrupted heavily, and then everyone was very distracted as we were like warming up and stuff, and I was a bit like bitchy and snappy at everyone. And like, I know I play my best football when I'm having fun, and if I'm not having fun, then I'm, you know, not a good teammate and not a good person. But like that, I was disappointed in how I was there.
okay.
Because I think as a leader, you've got to, and you don't have to be nice to everyone. You can lead everyone into battle by being like, fuck them. But you've got to be supportive of each other. And we've got, you know, when you have a big team, like, people on game day are completely different. Like, I know who on our team's going to be worrying that I need to go and pick up and distract them so they're not like sat there freaking out about life. And I also know the people who need to be like screaming and jumping around, and I avoid that because that's not my vibe. So yeah, and having like different captains is good because you can cover more bases. I don't know, you know, be a bit.
So would you
different.
say game day for the adults team is different to game day for your women's?
Oh,
and if so, how?
Oh, massively so. So I think I think the senior team is a lot more, or at least tries to be a lot more, like, regimented in how they do things. And I think, again, this is a massive generalization, so hate me if you want. Like, men are much more like, do this because I'm telling you, and they'll just do it. Whereas we're like, why are we doing this? What time do we need to be here? Do I have time to go for a wee? I forgot my hairbrush. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the kind of chaoticness of it. And I think the women's is much more important about having the right vibe.
Yes.
I think the seniors can sort of like, I mean, you can still struggle if you have a bad vibe on a game day, but I think the women's is much more important about giving people, not rushing people, so we've got enough time to everyone to like settle down on the sidelines, sort themselves out, eat what they need to, do their shoes up properly, like, you know what I mean, do get into the right rhythm. Whereas I think the seniors is much more like, just go. And everyone's like,
Really?
okay, cool. Yeah. So I think for me, they're like the main differences in those.
So do you get a lot of, so is your coaching staff mostly senior team players?
Not necessarily, not Thrashers senior team. So
Okay.
it's quite interesting because they all at some point have been teammates, but we now have people from like 3 or 4 different senior teams. They're all quite young. That's what I will say, is our oldest coach is probably late 30s.
Okay.
So I think having people who either still play or have recently played is really good on a relatability kind of scale, because I think because I've now played for a long time and I'm old, I don't like people coming and telling me things that I don't think, to do things that I don't think they'd be prepared to do. And I think when you've got coaches that are also players or have recently been players, you know they've done that. You know that or they'll be like, this is shit, but we've got to do it. Like, it makes you more want to do what they're telling you, for lack of a better wording.
So what makes a good coach for you? Because I know I'll put my hands up and say I've experienced some shocking coaching.
Oh yeah, me too.
But like, what for you is important in a good coach?
I really like someone who can kind of back up their bullshit and like explain to me why we're doing something. But also like, I know I'm not the easiest to coach, so but like is happy to not just like chew me out because I'm being difficult, but like have a good level of banter, like joke with me when we're joking, but also be that person who will be like, now get on and do it, stop faffing about. And being relatable and like real about things.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say just positive, because toxic positivity is something I hate with a burning passion.
Oh my God, yeah.
But like being who believes in us. Oh, so cheesy. But like having been on teams where we were losing every single game, like turning up and having an attitude where it's like, well, we're going to lose, but like, let's just, you know, do this. Like, yeah. Ugh. So I think it's like having, and being like able to adjust things as well as taking into account like what players are telling them. Because I do find like, especially when we've got like new players who don't necessarily like know the words for things, that doesn't mean what they're seeing and what they're experiencing on the field isn't the right thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's like being respectful of that, I guess.
I find it really hard to find coaches that understand. So I've had coaches that kind of come from the seniors or the adult teams, but don't know how to communicate with women.
Yeah, that's
all.
I was having this conversation with some of our coaches coached me way back in the really early days when we first started, and they were like, it's really difficult because, but then they were saying it makes you a better coach, but like, because women particularly are like, but why this, why that, what if this, what if that, but why this? And they're like, it's really hard. They were like, also it means that we often are not running as much practice as we'd like to, but they were like, it makes you a better coach because you have to be able to explain it. And they were like, you've got to accept that if you just kick off and shout at everyone, you're going to upset some people, and like, you know, you've just got to be a bit more thoughtful about how you do things.
Oh, for sure. And it's just, yeah, like being able, because I've had coaches like be so snappy and be like, just do it. And it's like, like, I don't respect that. Like, like I get sometimes like just do the drill, and sometimes it needs to happen. And I completely agree with you. Like sometimes people are dicking about, and we do just need to get shit done. I get that, but also like just take the time to like understand your players, because it's not even just like women need to understand why we do it, which is exactly because I can't just do things because I need to know. But it's also like women have so many other roles, not that men don't, but like we're mothers, we're partners, like you've got cycles, you've got mental health. Like you're on a women's team and like 3/4 of the fucking team have synced in and everyone's choosing violence. Like, bro, like you've got to be mindful and gentle about that kind of. And
it's
also,
like, be gentle, but don't tell me you have to be gentle.
Yeah, I need you to do self-care, but also don't tell me you're doing it.
Yeah.
But I think there's like not even an awareness, and it's something that I want to bring in with the Bears, is like an awareness of how your cycle impacts your body when you're doing contact sport. I mean, you'll know from doing the gym, like your strength levels alter. And it's just like, why aren't we educating women that are coming into the sport that sometimes you are going to be mentally ready for the game, but your body just does not want to play, and that's not your fault. Like, I think there is so much need for that education that I just think is missing.
It's interesting. I got into the car today and they were just finishing a news article about this whole topic, and I was like, oh, I wish, you know, when you're like, I wish I'd been here 10 minutes earlier so I would have heard all of this. Where they were talking about they're just starting to do studies with, I don't know if it's rugby or if it's England rugby or I don't know what level, but like looking at how your cycle impacts your performance and stuff like that. And I was like, it's really interesting that there's not enough research about it, or like, and it's just not ever, I mean, I guess you couldn't ever be in a position where it would work for everyone to, you know, but it is something that I do think it's just really difficult to, and it's quite hard, especially when you've got like a team of male coaches, to be like, this is going on, like, by the way, you know.
That's the thing though, it's like trying to be inclusive and be aware of it, because you know, I know I've been around some coaches where, I've seen it on different teams where players have gone, oh, have you got, any sanitary products or whatever? You've been hit by game day and your lowers and you're just worried that you're gonna leak and stuff. And I've seen male coaches just like balk and disappear for the hill, and I'm like, 50% of the population goes through this, my guys.
When I'm really bad when I see people having this, I'm like, do you plan on having kids? What if you've got a daughter? What if you have to have this conversation with her, and you're going to leave that to someone else to do, like grow a pair and get over it.
I don't get it. Like men that
really?
I've seen men that conceal sanitary products for their partners under their armpits, like they're dealing drugs, and I'm like, dude, it's just a tampon. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
But that goes into it. Actually, is Liverpool Raptors actually had to change the colour of their lowers to be more inclusive of people with periods.
I love that they've done that.
I know. How incredible is that?
Yeah.
But do you think people
having to think about it?
Yeah, because it's just like a given, but it's such a fear, isn't it, that you're gonna leak onto your lowers, and depending, it's such a hard thing that people take for granted, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I do think I will give them a bit of credit. I think having been part of a senior team where I'm the only girl, there's some really hilarious moments we've had where they've been like, I've just never even had to think about that. And you're like, and they're like, oh yeah, of course. So it's just getting people to think about it. I think because there's no need for lowers to be white. What difference is it having a navy or black or green? Does that make a difference to anyone? If anyone cares that much about wearing white lowers, they need to literally get in a bin, because they don't even look good on anyone. So
Amen. Amen. But talking about kit though, I am very jealous of yours. The black and gold goes so hard. It goes so hard. It's so good.
Love it. It's not as the version I wanted would have been much more plain. So I'm really in love with the senior team. When I first started going to watch them a billion years ago, had plain black almost training jerseys with shiny gold, just Thrashers and just the number, and sweet, but pretty. They were obviously they all fell apart very quickly, but they were. I loved the plain but strikingness of them. And a little pet peeve I have at the moment is everyone keeps ordering jerseys that kit that looks the same. Everyone's just ordering those ridge things with the sleeves and the plain. It's got a stripe on the sleeve and it's going to have plain something on the front. But the black and gold is, and accessories, love it.
So what are your how hard do you go with the accessories?
Not that much. I respect that I am old. And but one of the things I hate is when people have random colours, especially when we play on a team where you can have black, and black is the cheapest to get things usually. It's not you're going, I could only find this fluorescent green pair because it was the cheapest one, and I'm like, that I can excuse, football's expensive. But it really irks me that people have different things. But I like having, I don't do loads of accessories. I'll have a glove, boots have to be, don't have to be, I like them to be nice. But I do destroy them. I destroy boots so quickly.
Do you go for the high ankle?
Yeah.
Or...
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I roll my ankles if I have to run with low ones on.
Do you have a lineman glove or
no? So it has to be for me a padded receiver glove, right? So obviously I started playing receiver, so I had I remember my first pair of gloves that my dad bought me, really cute.
That's adorable.
But they were kind of ugly, but they were cute. And I had receiver ones, and when I started playing line, I got obviously some line gloves, and why you can't grip on them. Like
No.
the bit here doesn't actually like do a huge amount. So I think having a padded receiver glove where I've got the grip and I've got like padding on my knuckles, because I mean this hand is very, I won't show you what it looks like, very mangled from years of things. So
that's a proper lineman hand, that.
It's the girls, we call it my claw hand. So in that final last year, I had these two fingers taped together and these two fingers taped together, and it turns out I'd fractured and like really messed the little finger up again, and then like everything was like so it was like, your claw hand. And I'm like, leave me alone.
So are you a fucker for playing through injury then?
Yeah, I'm really bad, but like I will have a moment and then usually I will just get on with my life. But I also think I'm quite bad for like when the adrenaline's flowing, that I'm like, I'm fine, and then like after a minute I'm like, I don't know if I am fine. But I'm not. Yeah, I think I'm quite bad for it.
But what are you like as a captain with your other teammates?
Completely different. If you're slightly hurt, go sit down, have a glass of water, check you're okay, speak to the medic. I'm really hypocritical. I know that. But for them, I'm like, oh, but I love you and I don't want you to be hurt. But then for me, I'm like, yeah.
I will die on this line.
It'll be fine. Who needs hands?
So for people listening, I sent Lou like the standard, this is questions that we might go over, and one of those questions that you posted to your followers, and I found this really interesting, was, so the question was, do you have any football icks? And I was so surprised at the amount of people that were like aggrieved by the clap and cheer.
Oh my god!
Holy shit!
People have some strong opinions,
right?
The whole thing made me laugh loads. I really enjoyed that. So thanks for giving me the thought to do that, because excellent. And what I've narrowed it down to, most people hate particular swag things. Like, there's a lot of swaggy things that people don't like, and a lot of these things come back to DBs. I'm really sorry, DBs, to single you out, but they be doing things and looking like things that people don't like. But but the clapping thing, I was like, I kind of get it. People don't like having good sportsmanship. Some people are salty.
I don't get it. I enjoy a good cheer. I think it like hypes people up, but that's just me. So what are your icks though? That's the question.
So many things. And to the point I was like, that's why I put it up, because I was like, there's so many things that I can't think of right now that definitely irritate me.
I mean, you've got years of accruing this backlog of things.
This is the thing. I'm now like, I think from now on I'm gonna like write a note on my phone and like write them down when I think of them and be like, ugh. But like a lot of mine, one of my favourite that someone reminded me of, like, you know when like a ball is thrown like too far, or you know, a receiver drops it and then the DBs are like, I'm like, you stop. That's something that really irritates me.
I'm laughing so hard because my wife is a DB.
I know, I was saying this and then I thought, oh no.
No, please, I find it hilarious, please. I give us so much shit for being a DB, so I am thoroughly enjoying this.
But like, I was thinking about this as well, and I do think, I'm like, DBs are the group I have the least interaction with ever as an offensive lineman. Like, I don't often see I don't even care what they're doing most of the time.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, that's one. And the others are like, I hate people who wear a hoodie under a shoulder pad. Like, wear a jumper. Why a hood? Why do you need the hood there? You're not going to put it on over your helmet. Like, it's very Britball, I think.
What about, it was the sleeve on the line. I found that really jarring. So, like, I've always worn them. I think I look cool as shit.
So, let me tell you about that. So, like, my other half obviously is a lineman as well, and I know he drilled into me like early on, like, lineman don't wear sleeves, and I was like, but why not? I'm cold. And he was like, lineman don't wear sleeves, and I was like, okay, fine. And we played the final where we won back must have been my first year back at Dreads, and we played up in, I want to say, Sheffield. And it was snowing sideways, and I didn't have sleeves on, and my arms were blue for about 4 days afterwards. And I was like, I'm not sure if it's like bruise or what. And like, since then I'm like, I've got to stick to it now. Like, it has to be, I have to stick to it, because if I put myself through that, it literally was like, snow was like flying sideways into, because we were like, the wind was going that way and we were going, oh wait, that way, and we were going that way, and it was going into the side of your lid and like settling here, and you couldn't like get it out. It was nuts, but we won,
Holy
so
shit.
worth it, right?
Go off, but holy shit, that is something to commit to.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So
Jesus Christ.
but that's only because of him saying it. I don't know, like, but then I now say it to other people. It's all about being hard. I don't know. Do I look hard because I got my arms out? I don't know.
Oh god. So what are your have you got any goals for the season?
I do. This is really tough because I really don't enjoy setting goals that are like, I want to win 3 games by this many points, because I'm like, you can't control everything, can you? Like,
True.
you know, it's not my fault they've got Shiv, who's the most amazing person I've ever seen do anything. So like, for me, it's about, like, I want to be a better captain than I was last year, and be more supportive of people, and like have more fun. Like I said, I need to be having fun with football at the moment because I'm getting old and stuff hurts more. So have fun and like be competitive in these games. Like, I appreciate it's our first year at Nines and no one expects anything from us, but we've got really excellent players, we've got really excellent playbooks, we've got really excellent coaches. Like, why shouldn't we be considered in that category, with all the big names? So like being competitive and like working on, you know, my various flaws and just improving. Like, I think I don't like to set myself something that at the end of it I'm going to be like, I've definitely failed it. I'd like to be able to have a goal where I can be like, maybe I wasn't great at this bit, but this bit was good, and actually let's keep building. I can work on that in the next couple of months, you know.
Okay.
Try to be not setting myself up to fail.
So being a better captain and working on little things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like being consistent with snapping is just always
but that's
there.
like a hard thing. But what I love about snapping is, you know, it when it doesn't feel right. It's a very which I think is such like an art form in itself, that you have to like build up muscle. Like knowledge.
And like, I think I've been really lucky that our quarterback Iona, I played football with her for like quite a long time now. So like, we've got a good relationship with like talking about things without it ever being like snarky or anything like that. It's always like, she'll tell me like, oh, it was a bit off, and like if they're good, she'll go, I didn't think about it, so it's fine. So it's like helpful having her. I love her.
So I was speaking to Sarah, who was QB for Titans, and she said something really interesting to me. She said the most important relationship that she has as a quarterback is with her O-line, and nothing else matters apart from the fact that she trusts her O-line.
Yeah.
And she has that good relationship. Would you say that that is something that's like really important to you as a lineman, that your QB trusts you? Or
yeah, like, I take pride in protecting her. That's how I see it. Like, we're there to protect her, and I don't want her ever to think that she's like, I can't do this because I'm like about to be killed by whoever. Like, you know, not every block works properly, and you know, stuff happens, but I want her to be secure enough that she can show off what she can do, because she's really excellent. She's massively overlooked as a player, in my opinion, anyway. But like, for her to be comfortable behind us is a good, like, for me, that's something I would take pride in.
I think there's an art form to line building trust with each other.
Yeah,
because
you've got to.
You've got to be so in sync.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't work, like, D-Line will exploit that.
Oh yeah.
To no end.
Like, I think, and that's one thing I think I've really struggled with going up to GB, because at GB you're a bunch of different teams mushed together, and for other positions you're like, cool, I'll just look excellent doing my skill over here by myself. But as a line, especially offensive line, you've got to work together. You've got to trust that person next to you, that they're going to do what they're going to do, you're going to do what you're going to do, and it's all going to work, and that you've communicated the correct thing to do. And I think that's something at Thrashers I've really enjoyed over the last few years. We've had, although we've had people come in and out on the offensive line, we've had a core of us that have been there a while that, like, I know when Vicky's going to get wound up at something, and then I step in and be like, come here. And she knows that if I squeal this particular noise at her, that's what I want her to do. Or, like, I'm calling for her to do a double team block or, like, whatever. She knows, like, you know, you kind of build that relationship up. And I think it's more important in that position than any of the others. I mean, that's very biased of me, but
I mean,
what I would say,
it's the start, like, it's the core of offense. Like,
because if you have a rubbish O-line, you're not getting anywhere with anything, are you?
No,
really. So that sounds very self-important, but, like,
no, it's not. It's facts. It's football facts.
Yeah.
Come and fight some DBs and they argue.
I'm gonna have DBs coming for me after this, aren't I? Sorry, I love you all.
Way back down there, downfield.
Yeah, wherever you are. I mean,
sorry,
they could definitely
can't hear you. What?
They could definitely outrun me, so I've got to be a bit careful.
So what advice would you give rookie you?
Oh my god, rookie me.
So if you could go back in time, and with the knowledge that you've got now of you being on GB,
yeah,
and where you are in your life right now, what would you tell rookie you?
Oh, I would have still just said keep having fun with it. And, like, at uni, there's definitely more time to go to the gym than what you're telling yourself.
Right, fuck.
I was like,
Stop
I'm so busy.
so much.
I'm so busy going out drinking all the time. I can't possibly go to the gym. But as much as it's been, like, quite a chaotic football journey over the years, like, I've met some of my best friends, some of the people, like, when life's turning upside down, that I will go and find. And these aren't necessarily, like, people who are still playing, you know, the people over the years who moved away, but, like, still on my go-to people. And even, like, across all of the teams I've been a part of, I've met some brilliant people. And it gives you a real, like, when I've had really, really shit mental health times, like, knowing that I've got to get up to go to football is something that keeps me getting out of bed. So, like, just kind of keep at it. Don't let anyone tell you it's weird, because it is weird, but what's life without having a bit of weirdness? I don't know. But yeah, just have fun. You'll get old one day. Oh.
Right, so I'm gonna end with a quick fire round.
Oh god, okay, go on. Okay. I'm gonna say something crazy.
No, you're not. It's okay. So, are you ready? Are you locked in?
I'm locked in.
Dialed in. Are you ready? I'm gonna hype you up for something that's just gonna really be not that deep. Okay. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Offense or defense?
Offense.
Home or away?
Home.
Eye black or none?
None.
Okay. Man or zone?
Man. I don't really care.
Run or throw?
Run.
Full contact or thud?
Oh, full contact.
Taped or no tape?
Tape, because, yeah, I'm old.
Film review or run-throughs?
Oh, run-throughs.
All day. Visor or no visor?
No visor. We're in the UK. Stop it.
Astros or cleats?
Oh, cleats.
Grass or 4G?
4G, go away, grass. No, thank you.
AFC or NFC?
This is really bad. NFC?
Really? As a Ravens fan?
Oh, AFC? I don't know. We're trying to switch. Don't tell anyone.
We'll just cut that. We'll cut it. We'll cut it. You on first or the defense on first?
Oh, us on first.
Really? Holy shit.
I mean, I don't get to make that decision, do I? So I want to get involved. I don't want to stand around and wait for a minute.
See, my anxiety, I'm like, no, you go first.
Oh no, see, yeah, but I think to counter that, just get stuck in before you have time to think about it.
Oh no, it's already there. Anxiety forever. North or south?
South.
Pre-workout or none?
Oh, pre-workout, lots of it, please, thank you.
Okay, how do you take your pre-workout though?
Oh, like in a shake like a adult. I'm not like snorting it or like dry, what is it? Scooping it? No.
I dry scoop it with Monster. I need to feel anything.
God.
Yeah. I do not value my life. You taking it recommended. Go off. Please be more like Lou.
As per the instructions.
God. Backplate or rib protector?
Neither.
Okay. Aggression or bants?
Oh, bants.
Shirt or no shirt under pads?
I have to. This is not a quick fire answer. Have to wear something that like is a t-shirt so my pads don't rub. And then where we've been given these really horrendous game pants. So the kit looks cool, but those game pants do not have any space for butt. So I now have to invest in like a longer top underneath to just cover the butt up a little bit.
Do you wear your shirt properly? I bet you wear your uniform. Do you not? Do you roll it up?
I roll it up because I'm a fat girl and
Queen shit.
I need to be comfortable, okay?
Queen shit right there. So what position would you play if you couldn't be on O-line? And you're not allowed to choose D-line either.
I was going to say, can I choose D-line?
No.
I'd love to play quarterback, but that's just never going to happen. I'd love to be quick enough at reading what's going on to be a linebacker. That would be cool. My dad played linebacker. That would be cool.
Holy shit, that'd be terrifying.
I can't make decisions quick enough.
What would you say is the most underrated position?
Underrated position, apart from the O-line, obviously. This is right. Let me give DB some credit. Like where you have to switch what you're doing and share spaces and trick people with all of that.
Okay. And I guess she's redeemed herself.
Yeah, love you, DBs.
What is the most creative play that you as a lineman love being a part of?
I love absolutely anything where I can go on an adventure. For me, let me do a trap. Let me do some madness. I absolutely love it. We drew up a trick play last year. Did we do it once in a game? We called it taking the hobbits to Isengard. And we basically had the line out. I can't remember exactly how it went now because it was just so ridiculous. But the centre was over in one place and all the other linemen were over in the other place, and they basically did like a weird little leading the little people.
That is incredible.
It was so much fun. I wish I could remember more of what it was. Oh, but yeah, anything. But yeah, I love a trap block. Just there's nothing better in life.
I would shit myself if I was on the receiving end. If I was a DB and I had you trucking at me, I would shit myself.
I really like is when you get when the corners like come into the end. When you just find a corner by accident, you're like ha 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 ha.
You see the whole life flash before their eyes.
Like there's nothing better than especially, I mean, I guess less so like with our women's team, but like at GB, because I'm so much smaller than the rest of the linemen, when I get to go find someone smaller to hit, it's very enjoyable.
I am so excited to watch the next stream just to see if that happens.
Like, I talk like a big game here, and then I'm gonna like do this and get like, you know, like knocked out by some tiny person, aren't I?
No, you won't. No, that's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen at all. And finally, who's gonna win the Super Bowl this year?
I want it to be the Ravens.
Yes, I want it to be the Ravens.
That would be cool. We love letting ourselves down at the last moment, though, don't we? So
you guys beat yourselves. That's solely it. Like, fuck the Chiefs with everything in me.
Yeah.
By the way, how much can you squat?
132.5.
So you can squat Harrison Butker at least 3 times. At least for 5.
I don't know if I'd hold on to him.
Throw him into the ground.
If I could pick him up, I'd just like yeet him.
Well, it's fitness goals, so there you go. That is incredible.
My goal is to be able to yeet Harrison Butker.
That's all you need. That's motivation.
Oh, he's such a prick.
Right?
Did you see as well, like, isn't his mum like a physicist or like something ridiculous like that?
Yeah.
Oh, what a knobhead.
Yeah. But I love that people are just referring, like, what's his wife's name? Like Lorraine or something?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, Lorraine's husband. Like, he's lost all name now, which I'm here for.
Yes, that's what we...
Here for the petty energy.
Here, I like the petty energy is living.
So, with that, have you got any closing thoughts or anything that you want to leave the adoring listeners with? All 2 of them.
Thanks for putting up with my madness. I love the podcast. Let's keep it going. Woo! Maybe in the future I'll come on and speak some like more sense and not just ramblings of my brain.
Oh, we're gonna have you at the end of the season, hold you some accountable about your goal.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I like that. We'll do that. And then I'll be like, I've been an awful teammate this year.
We'll get a poll. I'll get some quotes and I'll be like, here you go. Like,
I'll be like,
here's the receipts. But thank you so much for coming on.
That's all right. Thanks for having me.
I respect you so much, not only as a person, but as an athlete as well. Like the way that you constantly turn up for yourself, even on the days where you can tell that, you know, you're not vibing or your brain's kind of winning. You consistently show up for yourself, and you are a role model, Lou, whether you like it or not. You are. And I do respect you a lot.
You say all these things and I'm like, I'm just someone who likes to play football.
But that's the thing, like, you do, and it, like, the way you conduct yourself and the way it has such an impact, and I've got so much respect for you. So thank you so much for coming on. Like, I'm so grateful.
That's all right. Hopefully you can edit it so I don't sound absolutely insane.
It's spicy.
You're ready to set up all the DBs against me forever. They're going to be blitzing down the middle at me.
You're going to come back and you're going to be twitching every time.
Like, DBs everywhere.
Okay, so we're gonna end the recording now. So we're gonna say bye.
Bye.
Okay, so then we stop the recording. My mouse died. There we go.